So this is interesting. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 first reactions range from, you guessed it, the best Marvel movie in years, since Endgame, because that's what they all bloody say all the time, to strangely uneven, which is interesting. Not what I was expecting. Now you'll see that this says April 27th. There's actually been updates on this, from today, which is why I'm covering it. There's been more information being dropped. These first reactions, first reviews are dropping in. I think what's interesting about this is that this film was projected to actually open lower than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which, I mean, that's abysmal. Really, really, really bad. A surprise, because I don't, I have good association with Guardians of the Galaxy as a property. I like Chris Pratt as an actor. I think they've all done, really good stuff. So I wasn't expecting this to be terrible, but maybe this is just the sign of the times that people are waning away from comic book movies, or just generally want something a bit fresh. I don't know, but we'll dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you are new here. Ladies and gents, I've got a second channel. It's linked in the description box. I run a podcast twice a week called the Hcast, and you can find the best bits of that chopped up into other little videos over on that channel, as well as the full episodes. We cover lots of stuff. Some of the stuff we cover here, but then other things, like I've covered the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light situation. There's a lot of things. Even the Amazon Prime being sued for the Rings of Power, for instance. A wide range is covered over on that podcast. And like I said, you can find the channel with all of those videos, clips, the best bits, linked in the description box. Please do head on over there and hit subscribe. So, that little plug, shameless plug, out the way. Let's take a look, because this is shocking. I think a lot of people will be surprised by this. A lot of people won't be, mind you, but I do think a lot of people will be. So, after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania earned some of the worst reviews for a Marvel movie yet, 47% score on Rotten Tomatoes is as equal to Eternals. That's the lowest rated MCU title on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's them literally manipulating it as well. It appears the MCU is back on track, apparently, thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But I think what's interesting here is, will it actually be on track? Will that be enough to get people into the theatres to watch Marvel? Because Marvel has been on a decline. It might actually be a good film, but good films don't always do good box office. We know that. We've seen many a good film die at the box office. So I do wonder. But anyway, the first reactions for the trilogy-ending Guardians sequel are here. Lots of people are saying it's the best Marvel movie in years, and surprisingly emotional. You could get that from the trailer, in fairness. I really like the trailer, though some critics deem it uneven. So, Awards Radar editor Joey Magidson claimed the film full of heart, and said it brought him to tears on multiple occasions. It's not what you're expecting, but it really does land a perfect ending too. So here's the tweets. It's just a range of tweets, but you get a feel for it. And I do this for a lot of movies that I'm looking forward to, or big blockbusters, because I think it's fascinating. It's fascinating to take a look at what the general critics are saying, and whether that aligns with the end result, right? Because that's important, I think, personally. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is full of heart and brought me to tears on multiple occasions. James Gunn making it Rocket's story pays off big. It's not what you're necessarily expecting, but it really does land a perfect ending too. And then had Lauren Lamagna says, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is full of stakes, emotion, and feels like a solid ending. Good thing. I will say this, out of all of the movies in Marvel where people claim that there's stakes, I believe it were Guardians. Mainly because we know that this is the end for all of them. They're not coming back. So this is their last film. So I will agree that, that's legitimate. It is full of stakes. Emotion and feels like a solid ending. Good thing. The production design and set pieces are some of Marvel's strongest. Well, bloody hell, because they've been terrible for years now. It's long, but the theme of found family is and will always be its strength. I'll miss these misfits. because again, we know it's the end. Uprock's Mike Ryan said, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, James Gunn bets the house on a surprisingly emotional story centered on Rocket and the love and friendship between these characters. Bets and wins. It's pretty incredible. Animal lovers, there are a couple of tough scenes, because that will be obviously the High Evolutionary cutting Rocket up, along with other animals as well. Den of Geek editor said, my reaction to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, thank God that James Gunn is back in the MCU. This is easily the best Marvel movie in years, and had a real heartfelt and surprisingly wistful heart. Yeah, but he's done with the MCU now, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Nerdopolis editor Sean Tajipur says, just screened Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it is an emotional and action-packed roller coaster ride. It's easily the best MCU film since No Way Home. I highly recommend watching the movie on the most giant screen possible to be immersed in this intergalactic story. Thank you. I'm looking forward. I mean, I'll be watching this opening week. Literally next Wednesday it opens in the UK, so I will be watching it there. And again, I'm looking forward to it. This isn't me, I don't know, being negative. This is just, I don't know, it's just interesting, isn't it? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 aspires for sweeping emotion, gut-busting laughs and thrilling action. It sometimes succeeds, but as a send-off for all of these characters, it feels strangely uneven and anticlimactic. Features the best makeup and visual effects of the trilogy. Good. Ugh, Grace Randolph, fucking hell. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has that MCU magic. What? They haven't had magic for years. James Gunn quickly becoming phenomenal blockbuster director and might deliver a fire Superman movie. What? But he really needs to stop putting his family and friends in his movies. It's super distracting and took me out of the whole experience. I'm just going to go and see what she actually said. Oh, she's deleted it. Oh, no. No. She blocked me on Twitter. That'd be why. Anyway, I can't see what she said. Anyway. James Gunn really does get criticised quite heavily for inserting his family and friends in his movies. And I will agree, like, it can be a bit annoying. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. All around, this was a better film than the second. It's not hard. This had some epic action moments, interesting progression for the characters, and a great emotional arc for Rocket and the main villain. But some things I wanted more depth, weight, but a good time still. I tried so hard to resist Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but damn it, Rocket's storyline eventually got me and never let go. If there were, say, 35% fewer jokes, it would have been an all-timer. Satisfying conclusion overall, though, and it ends on what's now my favourite MCU needle drop. Alright. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the best Marvel movie in years. Perfect blend of humour, heart and action with an epic third act that doesn't devolve into CGI mush. Will Poulter is a legend. I'm looking forward to Adam Warlock's Will Poulter debut. Proud to report that Volume 3 takes the trilogy out on an extremely high note. Highlights include one of the best villain performances in action sequences ever in the MCU. Did it look cool? Yes it did. I think Guardians 3 is really solid. The camera isn't just stagnant in action scenes, and Batista and Clementieff steal the show. I love Will Poulter, but Warlock was a miss. Ditto for the needle drops. Oh, interesting. Well, there you go. It's mixed. Mixed to positive, I guess. More positive than negative, or more positive than mixed. But what do you guys think? First reactions. Do you think this will be enough to get people back into the theatres for a Marvel movie? Because again, that's the main thing. I'm not going to be surprised if this is a good movie, but I don't know if that's enough to get people to watch it. Because I think people are a bit checked out from the MCU at the moment. I could be wrong. You could disagree. That's why we do these videos. Let me know down below. Thank you all so much. Hit subscribe. Take care.